Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to snub Xi Jinping and skip the upcoming Shanghai Cooperation Summit, or SCO. Modi has decided not to attend the SCO Summit, which will be attended by lifelong Chinese ruler Xi Jinping in person. Days after the Modi government hit back at China by restoring 30 ancient names in Tibet for CCP poking in Arunachal, now the news comes that there will be no bilateral meet between Prime Minister Modi and Xi, as the PM will not attend the annual SCO Leaders Summit. Instead, Modi is sending External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, who will lead the Indian delegation. Now, there had been anticipation of a Modi-Xi Jinping meeting in Kazakhstan amid the continued tensions along the LAC border. However, now it remains to be seen if Jaishankar will hold a meeting with Wang Yi. The Chinese foreign minister is expected to accompany Xi Jinping to the annual SCO Summit. Last week, the new Chinese ambassador had come to visit S. Jaishankar as India continued to urge China to respect the pre-2020 status quo ante at the LAC for a resumption of normal bilateral ties. Modi's apparent decision to snub Xi Jinping at the SCO continues his tough foreign policy stance against China in recent past. Modi government has imposed a near-total ban on visas and direct flights from China after the 2020 Galwan Valley clashes. India had been the chair of the SCO last year and decided to hold the summit virtually. Kazakhstan, which has taken over as chair after India, has requested Prime Minister Modi to attend this year's summit at least virtually. Xi Jinping's decision to attend the SCO is also strategic, as China is keen to extend its own influence in Central Asia, a region which traditionally had been the Russian sphere of influence. The SCO consists of China, Russia, India, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan, while Iran gained full SCO membership under India's chairmanship and Belarus is next in line to be included. SCO countries make up nearly 40% of global population and 30% of the world's GDP. However, questions remain over the relevance of the SCO and cooperation between historic rivals India, Pakistan and China. Still, the SCO remains a forum where the leaders can meet and iron out differences. Modi's decision to skip the SCO will send a loud message to Beijing that India is not ready to return to normalcy unless the PLA disengages from friction points along the LAC, including Demchok and Depsang. Meanwhile, Xi Jinping recently hailed the 1954 Panchsheel Agreement with India, or quote, 5 Principles of Peaceful Coexistence Agreement. It was an attempt by former Indian PM Nehru and ex-Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai to find long-standing peace between South Asian giants India and China. The 5 principles were, quote, mutual respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity, mutual non-aggression, mutual non-interference in each other's internal affairs, equality and mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. Xi Jinping added, quote, they included the 5 principles in the China-India and China-Myanmar joint statements, which jointly called for making them basic norms for state-to-state relations, unquote. On paper, this looks all good, but in reality, the definition of Chinese coexistence is quite different. China followed the 1954 agreement by first occupying Tibet and then attacking India in 1962 and occupying the Aksai Chin region. Now, that led to a long-standing border dispute with India, which from time to time flares up, just like the 2020 Galwan Valley clashes, which led to the deaths of soldiers on both sides. Post-2020, there has been a trust deficit in India regarding China, and the government has decided to adopt a tougher stance towards Beijing. India has also backed the US Congress move to reignite the Tibet occupation debate by Chinese CCP. A US delegation also visited the Dalai Lama in India's Dharamsala just last month. Meanwhile, New Delhi has maintained a near-complete ban on Chinese visas and direct flights. India also recently imposed anti-dumping duties on 3 products from China to protect domestic manufacturers from cheaper, low-quality imports. While New Delhi has also initiated an anti-dumping probe on fiberglass imports from China along with Bahrain and Thailand. Meanwhile, for Xi Jinping, all's not well at home amidst reports of Chinese economic growth stagnation. There have been reports of Xi cracking down on a rival group within the CCP. Recently, Xi Jinping also had 2 former defense ministers, Wei Fenghe and Li Shangfu, expelled from the CCP on bribery charges. Former Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang also remains missing for a year. With the lack of any democratic elections, the only way Xi could be removed from office is through a coup, with rumors gathering pace on social media. Amid spiraling confrontations with neighbors including Taiwan and the Philippines and increased US military partnerships with allies including India and the Quad, it remains to be seen if Xi Jinping will direct the PLA to end border hostilities with India. Modi's decision to skip the SCO summit indicates that India is prepared to continue its tough geopolitical stance against China. Instead, Indian Prime Minister Modi will visit Russia to boost the strategic partnership amid growing Russia-China alliance. The big question remains, will Prime Minister Modi's tough stance and diplomatic counter convince Xi Jinping to end border hostilities with India? Leave a comment, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.